Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. This is Dr. Joe Salustio back with you on another episode of EdUp. And much like we do often, we like to bring in people from other parts of the world who are representing institutions in other areas, other geographies, to find out what's going on in education or higher education in these different areas like the Middle East, like the Caribbean, like South America, North America, Canada. We go everywhere here at the EdUp Experience and interview everyone to really get a global perspective of what's going on. And I've got a guest today that's going to give us a little bit of a different type of perspective. His background, the picture is of his university, and I have to tell you, it is outstanding just to look at that university that he represents. Let me bring him in right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's Dr. Peter Bell. He's president at the American University of Antigua. Peter, welcome to an EdUp Mike. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me, Joe.
Thanks for being here. Now, are you, if I remember last time we spoke, you're in New York. Are you based in New York, but you traveled to Antigua?
Well, I used to live in Antigua for a dozen years, and currently I always joke I have an office in New York, I have an office in Antigua, and I have an office with the airlines, just because I'm really out and about. But I just returned from campus a week ago.
Yeah. So for those of us listening, perhaps that haven't heard of the American University of Antigua, talk a little bit, level set for us. Who do you serve and how do you serve them?
If you're afraid of success, go ahead and tune out because this segment is not for you. Every year, Higher Ed talks about change, but Insights EDU 2026, that's not another conference. It's the catalyst. It's where fresh data drops, revealing real insights on how modern learners are thinking, searching, and deciding right now. And here's a spoiler for higher ed leaders. Most institutions aren't keeping up. 3 days on the beach, February 17th to the 19th, 2026, in Fort Lauderdale. Over 65 powerhouse speakers, 40 sessions, zero fluff. We're talking unfiltered strategy, AI integrations, and forward thinking built for the leaders who want to disrupt before they're disrupted. So here's the question. Are you ready to lead transformation or be overtaken by it? Reserve your spot now at insightsedu.com. Early bird pricing ends December 15th. Support the EdUp Experience for just $5.99 a month and lock in that rate for life. You'll get ad-free early access to episodes. But hurry, price goes up after December 31st, 2025. Visit edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com and click support the show.
Well, we are an international university based on the island of Antigua. We are a member of the Manipal Education Medical Group. Manipal is an educational consortium out of India, very well known in Asia, household name like Harvard is here. So we're very proud to be member of that group. We do operate in Antigua 2 colleges, an undergrad college is the College of Arts and Sciences, and their main program is a pre-med program, and we operate the College of Medicine, which is a fully accredited medical school. So
Go ahead, keep going.
So for the medical school, we serve, well, I would like to say the world. That sounds a little bit more grandiose than I mean it. So as you know, there is a global physician shortage. There is significant physician shortage in the United States. And when you look at the numbers from the AAMC, the American Association of Medical Colleges, up to 130,000, just keep that number in mind, 130,000 physicians might be, the country might be short of within 20 years. So we are serving here the United States. A lot of our students are US citizens, Canadians. We have a significant number of Caribbean and especially Antiguan students who do very, very well. And we have students from all over the world, from Great Britain, from South America, uh, from even as far away as Australia or New Zealand. And based on our relationship with the Manipal group, we have a significant number of students directly coming to us from India.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, that is, you must have, I mean, truly a global representation. And I would guess it's not a bad place to go and study if you have coming from other parts of the world and the island of Antigua. That the opportunity for embedded study is probably one of a kind. Is that right?
It is, and Antigua is a very nice island, a very safe and friendly island. Unfortunately, it has to say, because that sometimes interferes with studying, it has also 365 beaches, and um, we can see the beach and we can see the Caribbean Sea from the campus. It's a very nice island, very friendly people, and it has been uh, my home, our home, since 2001, and the home of AUA, the American University of Antigua, since 2004.
Yeah, and for anybody that's thinking, and the medical profession is really interesting because I've, in fact, it's happening in my life right now where I have a family friend who is a doctor. He's from Colombia. He's a physician. He's a orthopedic physician, and his wife is a cancer doctor here in the United States. And they were both trained outside of the U.S. and had to come and take new training in the United States. And anyway, my friend, he has a doctor working for him who is a doctor in Nicaragua, but it didn't translate to the U.S. and he has to retest for his boards and all of the, take some additional courses because the doctorate in Nicaragua and the doctorate in the United States didn't translate. But if I'm not mistaken, and you're going to correct me, I'm sure, the students who come and get a doctorate at the American University of Antigua have the ability to work in the United States as a physician. Is that right?
Yes, they do. As I said before, we are fully accredited, and our students are eligible to participate in the match process. Um, Meaning they are eligible to get into residency training in the United States. And a large number of our students are interested in that. A large number applies, and we are every year. Match time is a very anxious time for students, for parents, for faculty, for me, and we are always very successful. Have been always very successful in creating this opportunity for our students to then enter residency training.
Are your the undergraduate pieces you have going on, are they pre-med? Is that essentially a pre-med pipeline into a medical doctor, becoming a basically a doctor of medicine, right?
Yes.
How many students do you have in in a class? Give me an idea. How many doctors are you pumping out there each year or each graduation? 40, 400? Give us an idea of scope.
Well, that's a little bit loaded question, and I tell you why. Because we graduate students once a year, but we used to have two intakes. Now from since September of this year, we have three intakes a year. So the class size, by design, the class size is fairly small, because we don't believe in classes of where you have 400 or 500 people sitting around, because the learning experience isn't good. So that's one of the reasons why I say class size is a little bit loaded. The other part is that we heavily engage with the students in team-based learning. And here, the group size is about 15. So 15 students are engaged with each other and with the preceptor and the faculty. But we graduate about 300 students a year or so.
I mean, that's pretty significant. I mean, I get your point, because the learning model itself is based on interaction, small group interactions and learning. I mean, 300 physicians a year is I mean, you can think about it, it's a lot of doctors, but in the context of a number of the physicians that the world needs, it's not. So that's a tall task. Have you given thought, are you able to partner with other universities to create larger pipelines? Do students still want to be doctors? Is there still a desire there? Is it getting harder with artificial? I mean, I'm asking you like a bunch of questions in a row, so let me stop doing that. But you get
So
where
I'll
I'm
be
going.
happy to answer every single one of them. And
I'm like, how do you remember all that many? I can't even remember what I just asked you. But let's start there. I mean, it is a big goal to fill the doctor pipeline, the number of physicians needed as the baby boomers get older, and in the facilities, there's just a medical profession shortage. How do you address that? And can it be addressed at scale?
well, I think it can be addressed at scale. And so one clearly how let's focus on the US here, how it's
Yeah.
being addressed in the US is to expand the scope of praxis of allied health um, allied health professionals. So that's one way. The other one is to increase the number of medical school seats for students, which has been done in the United States significantly. So new medical schools, and when I say medical schools, I mean both DO and MD, so osteopathic and allopathic medical schools, because at the end they go to the same residency training, so there is no difference. There's more of a philosophical difference between them. So the number of seats are increasing, but where is the real bottleneck currently in the United States? And this is in the number of residency positions, which are mainly federal funded. And here there are a lot of efforts on the way to increase number of residency slots, not only by increasing number of slots through increased federal funding, but also to have residency positions financed by individual states or even by individual hospital groups, because everybody needs physicians. So we are here, and we don't have influence on that part, but we do have influence by the nature of our university, so that we can educate physicians. So that was one question.
Yeah, what a big problem. No, keep going. Yeah.
No, you go. Please ask.
Yeah, well, I wanted to know if the interest is there. Are you still seeing a pipeline of interest for people that want to be physicians? And it's more of a curiosity because we saw COVID. There's a great need for physicians. It's not the easiest pathway for higher education, become a medical doctor. Are you seeing? And then the secondary question is the interest there? And is the interest there coming more from U.S. or international communities?
I think there is a huge interest from international communities. And keep in mind that about a quarter of the U.S. American physicians workforce, 25%, is foreign trained. And if you go to some states, it's even up to 50% of foreign trained physicians. Now, looking at the US society, in general, when you look at demographics, you see that the college age population is shrinking. Meaning, if you have less people going to college, you will have less people per se going to university. Now, when you look at the medical specialty, we saw a significant increase in interest in becoming a physician during and right after COVID. Now we are back to, I would say, interest levels pre-COVID. But what we see, because you rightfully mentioned that it's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to get trained. You have, let's say, you have 2 years of pre-med, you have 4 years of medical school, you have 3 years of residency, and then if you want to go and subspecialize, that's another 2 years.
That's a lot of school, my friend.
It's a lot of school, which is costly. And then, while it's still schooling, like residency and fellowship, not necessarily well paid. So a lot of applicants we speak with say, well, look, I want to make a living, and I want to make a living sooner than later. So here again, you see applicants who might have an interest in a career as a physician choose a career path in allied health profession. So, for example, become a nurse practitioner and subspecialize, becoming a PA and subspecialize. So I think it will take a couple of years till this is being sorted out. And for example, I'm an anesthesiologist, and in our field, you clearly see that the role of the anesthesiologist has changed. So some of the colleagues are really going more into pain management, emergency medicine, intensive care, where the classical put them under for surgery is now that a lot of centers use anesthesiologists instead of having one anesthesiologist for each OR. They're having one anesthesiologist, depending on the state law, obviously, and the setting, supervise either NPs or other allied health professions with a subspecialization in anesthesia. So we see a huge shift within the profession here.
Interesting. And I didn't know you were an anesthesiologist. Try to say anesthesiologist. See, I can even say it twice. Try to say it 5 times fast, and you'll have fun with your family and friends if you can do it. Another curiosity I have is around Manipal Education and their acquisition of the American University of Antigua, which is interesting, right? I mean, what interest did this Indian corporation have in acquiring a university in Antigua that trains doctors? And I'm imagining that they're pumping some level of pipeline. They have students that are attending their university or surrounding universities, and they're saying, hey, you can get your doctorate, your medical doctorate degree over here at the American and I was going to say American Anniversary, but that's not right. American University of Antigua. Are you seeing that India to Antigua pipeline happening, and the doctors? Because that school hypothetically would like their doctors back too, so they would want to train them in Antigua and then have them come back to India to practice medicine. But I bet a lot go to the United States too.
Well, actually, it's a little bit more complex here. So. Manipal has the group has multiple universities in India and outside of India, namely in Dubai, in Malaysia, and us as the Western outlier in Antigua. So the students from India we attract are those who really would like to go and train with us, train in the United States, and stay in the United States.
Got it.
So we are not attractive to those students who would like to go back to India. But yes, we are fostering that pathway, and you can, for example, we talked about our pre-med program in Antigua, but we also have a pre-med program in Manipal. Manipal is a little city in India, and we have where the main campus is. Main campus has now, I think, around 60,000 students.
Wow.
And we have a pre-med program in India, in Manipal, which is tailored to our medical school admissions criteria and the demands our students have to live up to.
Let's shift gears just a little bit and talk about some teaching and learning. The medical profession is evolving just as fast, I would guess, as other industries, as we see technology make its presence known, maybe more than it has previously. I mean, the idea of artificial intelligence and what that can do for the medical profession is certainly something that's on the minds of everyone, right? Can it help us can AI help us solve or cure disease because it can compute faster? Can it create disease, which is a whole nother thing? Can it, engineer new calculations for, limb replacements and organ? I mean, there's so many questions. Can we cure Parkinson's and cancer? How are you seeing and implementing or not implementing artificial intelligence and then American University of Antigua? Could you just give us an overview? If you'd like to get specific, that's fine. But it's something that I think all of us are contending with in higher education. How is it affecting a medical school?
Block out your calendar, bring your team, and lock in your spot because Insights EDU early bird pricing ends December 15th. We'll see you in Fort Lauderdale, February 17th to the 19th, 2026. For 3 days, that will disrupt what you think you know about marketing and enrollment for today's modern learner. The EdUp experience has delivered over 1,000 episodes with higher ed leaders from around the world. Now you can support the show for just $5.99 a month and lock in that rate for life when you join before December 31st, 2025. You'll enjoy ad-free early access to episodes. Go to edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com. Click support the show and secure your lifetime rate today.
Well, I think we need to break that down in 3 different areas. So one, how is AI affecting the practice of medicine?
Yeah.
And I think we are just here at the beginning. When you look, for example, I see that some specialities like radiology, where you use the radiologist to compare a given patient image with, at the end, the images he has seen before, which might be in the thousands, might be in the 10,000s. Now, if you use AI for that, it will be comparing a given patient image with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of images. So here AI is fairly advanced. Diagnostics AI is becoming a very good tool for physicians. There are some scary things, though, and scary for our profession. So there was an article just recently, I cannot quote you the source, where it was shown that when AI, because we always say, well, AI is something, it's called artificial. So it will never replace the human touch, and it will not replace the human touch as in the tactile feeling and the hand that a physician will put on the belly or on the shoulder to a patient. A study was conducted about empathy, and it found that AI showed more empathy to the patient than the real human physician, which is really scary.
Yeah.
So AI in the practice of medicine has just started. And I believe if things go well, it will make the diagnosis quicker, more precise. It will help to direct, to target more. It will play a huge role in directing and augmenting research and speeding up research. I think the speed up part of AI shouldn't be forgotten here. So this is basically the AI as I see it with direct patient. Then you need to talk about AI in business. And for example, here I think that AI will do wonders to hopefully free up physicians' time, because part of it is recording. It's dealing with electronic medical charts, with records, with planning. I think here AI will do a lot to relieve. Or when you look just how a physician is running his or her office, how a hospital is run, how a medical school is run. I think on the administrative side, AI will be very helpful. On the education side, we have been using machine learning for years. I think we were among the first who even created a committee for AI in medicine and medical education. And now we have even created a deanship for that. So our faculty has published. So currently, I think we look at AI. How can AI support the learner, the student, and how can AI support the faculty? So to start with the faculty, I think they can free up time in preparation. They can free up time doing research for their presentations. And this freed up time then can be used for direct student interaction. So I think this is very, very positive. For the student, what we are now using together with partners, we are looking at let me take a step back. So how do we educate? In a classic way, we have the faculty, they present, and the students listen to the presentation. The student then hopefully reads up on it, and then the student is being assessed by faculty, either via standardized test or via practical tests. So what we do basically, we use up to a point, one model fits it all. So every student gets the same amount of anatomy. Every student gets the same amount of biochemistry. And we have started to use AI tools to fine-tune what we present to the student. So, for example, let's say you are strong in anatomy and I'm not. So why should you then get the same amount of support and questions and spend the same amount of time as a person strong, as a student strong in anatomy, like me, who's not that good at anatomy? On the other hand, it's vice versa in biochemistry. So basically, we are working on models to use AI to fine-tune the educational offerings to the students.
That's really smart. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I mean, when you think about resource allocation, you're right. One faculty to student, group of students, you're teaching a subject. Some students are going to get that subject quickly. The rest, some may not. How do you pull along those that are not as fast getting the concepts while simultaneously moving the students who are getting it onto something else without holding them back, so to speak, right? How many times one of us was in grade school and we were in there doing our homework really fast and looking around going, I'm the first one finished here and everybody else is still getting along. Maybe it's happened to all of us one time or another because we picked up some concept quickly, but that is a really interesting way.
So the individualization of education is one issue. The other issue is we need our students to be successful, right? And to become a medical doctor, you have to pass standardized tests. So the next part where we have already, and we developed that basically in-house, algorithms where we can assist our students in assessing their readiness for standardized tests. And we do that very successfully in the environment. We have we are among, if we don't have the highest first-time pass rates on standardized exams, and partly based on the quality of our education and the faculty and our students, but also based on the assistance we provide, the support. We have an entire department, it's called ED, Education Enhancement Department, which focuses only on how can we make the student better? What can we do to help the student to be successful? And here we are using AI very, very prominently and very successful. Again, individualizing our approach and improving the chances of our students to be successful.
You know, when you talk about, this is a topic that every single person is interested in because it is going to affect us no matter what we do because we all need medical care. And to hear it from your lips and hear how a medical community is thinking about this, I guess I kind of knew it, but hadn't heard it broken down the way you did, where it's AI for the practice of medicine, AI for diagnostics, and then AI for research and other parts and operations. The part that's most interesting to me when you think about all of these things really is how how are these ideas for AI usage generated? Is it a top down? Is it inside out? Is it outside in? Do these ideas come from faculty who attend a conference on medical education somehow and come back and go, hey, we've got to do this? Is it you, Peter, who's out somewhere going, hey, we need to adopt this? Is it the students bringing something? How are these ideas generated? Is it best practice? Is it comparison to other medical schools or other hospitals? Can you talk about the ideation of how AI is permeating your campus? Who's bringing those ideas? Where does it come from?
I think it's all of the above. You cannot say it's a top-down wouldn't work. Even so, I'm very interested in AI and I do a lot of things, but it comes from different fields. So, for example, our research community, research faculty is very interested in AI. Student leadership is very interested. Our education enhancement departments is what are the tools? So for everybody with their own background, their own experience, thinks about how can we really use AI to improve. And there's not one single approach or so. It's really you go to a conference, for example. I went to a conference with Manipal 3 weeks ago in India, and we spoke with the leadership of India of ChatGPT. So very, and we discussed the pitfalls. So, for example, one of the issues currently with AI, and I think AI will overcome that in a very short amount of time, is fabulation. So, for example, you look at, you want to do some research and you want to see what is out there. So who else looked into that problem? And you might get a list from AI of 100 papers out there, and not all of them might be real. Some might have been fabulated by AI. So AI is not perfect as yet. I don't think it ever will be. So whenever we use AI, we need to make sure that there is some critical thinking here involved, some human element as oversight. Now, fast forwarding 10 years, nobody knows where AI will be, or fast forwarding 5 years. So we shall see. But the ideas are created. So, for example, the idea of forming a faculty committee came out because faculty said, I went to a conference and I heard AI, so we need to look into that, and we need to look into it on a more formal basis. So this is how, about 2 years ago, this AI committee was started. But again, there is no. It's a very fast moving environment here, and there are none, because you mentioned that there are none best practices out there.
Yeah.
Which is also a little bit scary, and you wonder if regulators at one point in time, I'm sure regulators in a lot of areas, including education, will look into AI. But think about all those efforts to regulate the internet. None of them basically came to fruition, and I foresee the same development here, or rather non-development with AI.
The fascinating part of what you just said there is that AI is designed, well, the critical thinking piece of what you said, no matter what we're doing, we need critical thinkers to look at bias and make sure the models work. But AI is designed to take away critical thinking. It's designed to make things easier, so you don't have to critically think. It is a general user, right? And we all have done it and I use this example a lot, where you use Google Maps to go 5 miles away from your house and actually don't know how to get there if you don't have the map. So we lull ourselves to sleep with technology, and where that's most dangerous is in the medical profession, right? Where if we don't have those critical thinkers, if we don't have the humanity, if we don't have people, what, like it or not, I know AI might be more empathetic, but there is something to be said for having a human being with you to say, hey, look,
Of
right?
course,
Of
of
course.
course.
To your point, like that will never be taken away. And we need this objective human to go, is that right? And balancing that, I think, Peter, my point is, how do we balance this humanity with this innovation, which is designed to kind of take away our ability to think critically, or at least make us not have to?
That is really the key question here, and I don't have an answer. So I think we really need to be aware of the opportunities AI provides, which are huge, but we also have to be aware of the pitfalls and the dangers. So, and the danger is not. I don't think it can be addressed by regulation or so. I believe it's rather thinking about, well, the thinking part. We as humans think about how can we use it and what do we use it for. So let me give you an example of where we stopped using AI. So biochemistry.
Mm.
Nobody goes to medical school to learn biochemistry, but everybody going to medical school must learn biochemistry. It's very, at least to me, please, my biochemistry faculty, don't be offended, but it can be a very, very dry topic. So what we did, we took a chapter out of a textbook, and we said, well, gave it to AI and to an AI model and said, well, summarize it. And the summary was fine. Now, the problem what we saw is that sometimes students use it to summarize the summary of the summary. And
Yeah, that's right.
suddenly it's so condensed that important information is getting lost. But let me go back to my example. So we had it summarized. And then one of our faculty said, well, we can do more of it. So we can now use the summary and, no pun intended, make it into a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It took the AI model about 10 minutes to basically transcribe the summary of a very dry biochemistry into a podcast. And when you listen to the podcast, it says, hey, let's talk about biochemistry today. Yes, American University of Antigua has a great way, blah, 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 blah.
Now, Google Notebook is great for that. Mm-hmm.
So we found that great, but we stopped here. Do you know why? Because the next step, and this was scary, we could do this artificial male and female voice over with actual faculty voices. And we tried that, and we said, this is nothing we want to go. This is not a path we want to go down. But this shows you what you could do. But at the end, you wouldn't even know if you're speaking to a human or not. And this is a little bit of a scary part, and something you need to be aware of when you deal with AI in education and elsewhere.
Yeah, it's a good point. And by the way, I can't tell you how many times I've asked for a summary of something and then gone, this is too long, give me a shorter summary. And then you realize you have to go back and, well, wait a minute, I need to include this or include that. And that is how we're engineered for, I talk about this all the time, we're engineered for bits and bytes and pieces and not for the narrative that used to exist in long novels. We like short 3-second videos, and it's the way we're all being programmed by the media, by social media around us to be much quicker with the amounts of information coming in. And where some professions we still need the deep learning to take place. We do need, and medical profession is one of those where you go, I need a doctor who trained with humans, who saw these things happen, who learned to diagnose these things rather than, almost like, a mechanic on an airplane. I want somebody who worked on an airplane, not learned it somewhere through AI,
And look what is really the danger here, and what we need, where we have as educators a lot of responsibility here, is to make our students understand it's not about the test and it's not about a disease. It's always about a fellow human being, a human, a patient who has a disease. So let's not address the gallbladder in room 15. Let's address Mr. Smith or Mrs. Lincoln, who resides currently, unfortunately, in room 15, and listen to her and look with all the tests. And no, I don't know how many tests I have ordered in my career, but a lot of tests you wouldn't really need if you listen carefully. So this human interaction and the touch between the bond between physician and patient, I think this cannot be replaced by AI, shouldn't be replaced by AI. And this is something which we really need to get across to our students. And our students see patients from semester 1 on, so they're introduced right away to patient care and to real people with real problems.
What else do you want to say, Dr. Bell, about the American University of Antigua? Open mic for you. Anything that's on your mind, anything that you want to talk about and highlight at the university that maybe we didn't get to today?
Well, I think two things, because one is always there and the other one is very fresh in my mind. One is that we have a formal collaboration with Florida International University out of Miami, Florida. So with both their medical college, the Herbert Wertheim College of Medicine, and the Robert Stemple College for Public Health and Social Work. So we offer here a lot of opportunities to our students. The other part is really global health. We are very engaged in global health as education, but also in research. So we just, I told you I was in last week in Antigua. We opened a research center together with the Prasanna School for Public Health, another partner school out of the Manipal group. We have significantly increased our research output. And as you know, years ago, you measured research output by number of publications, but with all those predatory journals, that doesn't work any longer. So now we are doing that. Everybody's doing that with the number of citations. And we have the largest number of citations, including a couple of articles we recently published at Lancet, in the entire region. So
Congratulations.
thank you. So this is really great. And today I just learned that our Dean for Global Health, Dr. Walvin, was asked to join the advisory committee of the Association of Commonwealth Universities in Health. So those are big things. I'm leaving later this week for Berlin to attend the World Health Summit, and we have two students presenting at the World Health Summit at the Satellite Symposium. So we are very, very active in research, but we are extremely active in the field of global health, and have been able over the last 4 or 5 years to make really ourselves not a household name as yet, but recognized in the field of global health.
No, that's incredible, and congratulations.
This is
on
what sets us apart from others here.
That's fantastic. Well, to close us out, Peter, tell us what you see for the future of higher education.
If you're afraid of success, this message isn't for you. Every year, higher ed talks about change. But Insights EDU 2026, it's the catalyst. The Modern Learner Report drops here first, revealing how learners are thinking, searching, and deciding right now. Spoiler, most institutions aren't keeping up. 3 days on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, February 17th to the 19th, 2026. Over 65 powerhouse speakers. Real strategy, real data. Only built for leaders ready to own their transformation. Reserve your spot now at insightsedu.com. Early bird pricing ends December 15th. EdUp Experience has brought you powerful conversations with more than 400 college presidents and higher ed leaders over 1,000 episodes and counting. Now, we're inviting you to join us in shaping the future of higher ed podcasting. For just $5.99 a month, you lock in that rate for life, but only if you sign up before December 31st, 2025. As a supporter, you'll get ad-free early access to episodes. Prices go up after December 31st, but your rate never will. Visit edupexperience.com. That's EDUP experience.com. Click support the show and join our community today.
Take that any way you want.
Well, that is an interesting question. So we mentioned part of that already. I think the future of higher education can, with the help of AI, we can tailor education better to students, making students more successful. I think we need to, as educators, as universities, we need to be concerned about the decreasing interest in higher education in society, because a society can only really thrive if people are highly educated. And, going back, wearing my global health hat is, there are very well published and research links between the higher your level of education is, the better your health behavior is, the better the health behavior is, the more educated you can get, the more educated you can get, the more productive you will be, the more money you will make, the more you will prosper. So education is really a foundation of our society, and we need to make sure that we educate, one, in an ethical way, and two, that we educate in a way that keeps the learners engaged and gives to the society what the society needs. And in medicine, it's healthcare. Obviously, that's easy, but in other sciences, it might be a little bit more difficult to define. So where do I see it? I think we can definitely move forward with excellent education in our field. We need to make sure that we don't forget the human element. I think this is very, very important, especially important in medicine. But we can embrace technology. We will get far further with simulation. The medical industry and medical education lag behind. Think about aircraft pilot training. They have been using simulators for 40, 50 years, and simulators in medicine came up in the 90s or so. So we are still lagging behind here. But we, for example, use now, we have a simulation lab. Anatomy, we talked about anatomy briefly. Anatomy, the department has now been renamed to reflect that change, anatomy and imaging and medical imaging. And we have ultrasound simulators now for our students where they can overlap doing the ultrasound on a mannequin. And then again, with the help of AI, you see the original ultrasound picture, you see the MRI, you see the CT, you see the physical depiction of a liver or so. So it's very, very interesting and very good. So simulation, I believe, will become huge.
I think you're right in that. Hypothetically means a scale. If you can simulate, maybe greater access to students. But I am glad you are out there doing the work, Dr. Peter Bell. And I encourage everybody to go check out the website if I have it right. Of course, I minimized it. It's auamed.org. Is that right? I got it right.
That is correct.
AUA, yes. American University of Antigua, AUA, med.org. To check out what they have going on, see the beautiful campus that exists, and connect with, you can connect there with Dr. Peter Bell if you'd like. Ladies and gentlemen, he's my guest today. He's your guest today, actually. He's Dr. Peter Bell, and he is the president of the American University of Antigua. Peter, thanks for being here, man. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you very much. It was really fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd.